Yeah, that's what I said. By Phillip Mullennax. When I was 15, I went to a summer leadership camp. As we got to the camp, there was food laid out, but no instructions given to us. So like most of the teenagers at the camp, I grabbed a muffin, a glass of OJ, and found some other people to talk to until something happened. After a bit, we were taken to a campfire location with plenty of seating and had the stereotypical opening ceremony. To this point, the camp was looking like it wasn't going to be too bad. After all, they gave us food. After the opening ceremony was over, we were told to go to our campsites and get started. That was it. No other instructions like where our campsites were, or who we were camping with, or anything. We ended up wandering around with blank looks on our faces for a while, and finally some of the staff members came among us and asked how things were going, and the adults acted impatient with us for not getting to it. Right about that time, I was ready to give up on the whole thing and just go home. They came and got us all. It turns out the non-communication was the introduction to a class on communication. It became very clear from this experience that communication is needed in life, and the more of it, the better. In this presentation, we are going to be covering the following: who I am, personal life, work life, communication models, daily communication log, my communication, what affects my communication, communication goals. Hello, my name is Phillip Mullennax. I have been communicating in one way or another for 38 years. I've been happily married for over 8 years and have 2 amazing children. At least they're amazing most of the time. My son is 3 and is into everything. He is also Batman. Just ask him and he will tell you. He does not speak very well yet, not even for a 3-year-old, so we have him in speech therapy. I also have a 6-year-old little girl that is smart and pretty and all things princess. She is also very brave and funny and full of attitude, mostly the good kind. In my professional life, I go to school at Full Sail University in the Internet Marketing program. I do some contract work as an SEO specialist that lets me use what I am learning in class in the real world. Recently, I applied for and got an internship working on a social media campaign for a startup company making a social impact game. The game is a solar-powered racing game called the Solar Games. The Solar Games uses 50% of its profits to help those without access to electricity to get use of solar power. The game's setting and impact focus is in Haiti. Bradley Bulifant is the executive producer of the game and has become someone that I get to work with every day, even though he is in Florida and I live in Utah. So, to recap, I'm a husband, father, student, SEO specialist, and marketing director. Yes, I have a full plate, and communication plays a big part of my daily life. There are 3 communication models. We have linear, interactive, and transactional. Linear is things like email and text messaging. I use these every day, all day, as it is fast, simple, and straightforward. Next, we have interactive, and that is things like classroom instructions and team meetings. This style allows for more than one person to take part of communication, although generally only one person is speaking at a time. Last, we have transactional communication. This is the face-to-face model where all parties are involved, get to work together, and make things happen. Let's take a look at a day of communication of yours truly. As you can see, I employ all 3 models of communication as needed. Also, you can see that I use many methods or channels of communication to best reach the needs that I have at any given time. Communication with others is a big part of my life. I'm interacting with my kids, clients, team members, or the social audience of the Solar Games. Without communication, I would get nothing done. Even though I use all 3 models of communication, if I look at my daily log and what models I use the most, it becomes clear that I use linear and transactional models of communication for the most part. If we look at my day, I use text and email a lot. Take, for example, one of the clients I do SEO work for texted me and wanted to make sure I had all that I needed to get going on a new website I am working on for them. It was a quick text from him and a short one back from me stating that I was good to go. An example of transactional communication is working with Bradley on the social marketing for our project. With the technology of the internet, Bradley and I can speak video calls to each other despite the distance in our locations. On the day of the log, Brad and I talked off and on throughout the day as we worked on some demographic research. At times we talked and discussed at length, and at other times we worked and searched in silence. And yet other times we interacted with other people in our physical locations. Through it all, we accomplished our goals for the day. At one point in my talks with Brad that day, we met with another intern that was at the Florida office. The intern is from South Africa and speaks with a heavy accent and comes from a different culture altogether. It does not pose any problem as long as we keep in mind how laid back this person is and how that affects his sense of timing so that we can all stay on the same page. My daily communication involves a lot of technology, from text, email, video chat, and even social media. A big part of the project is social media, and this has allowed a whole new way of communicating with people. It allows conversation to reach farther and involves a lot more people. For what I do in marketing, this new technology makes it faster and easier to reach the number of people needed to get the job done. How I personally feel also plays a big impact on how I communicate with others. As I talk with Brad throughout the day and work from home, my kids are in and out all the time. Because my son has communication issues, he gets frustrated and then cries. This can also stress me out as I'm trying to get him calmed down and not affect the other conversations. I have to be careful that does not color how I address others when I am stressed out. I am better at that with other people outside my family, and it has a larger effect on communications within my family. My current communication goals are as follows. First, when communicating and connecting with people via social networking, I need to first make sure I focus on the message and keep it clear. Next, I need to follow and use a content release schedule to keep the conversation consistent. My second goal is to take the time to really listen to my son and make sure he feels that I am listening to him and that he is important to me. In conclusion, communication is the cornerstone of working with other people. Good communication can make things so much easier, and poor communication can add unneeded issues to any situation. The better communicators we can become, the better we understand others, and the more we are understood, the better our lives will become. So take the time and learn to communicate with those in your life effectively. Thank you.